up by 47,000 fucking blankets.
2 sheets.
47,000. Lose your 2.
What up, and welcome to another episode of Brotherhood Without Manners, your favorite full spoiler reread podcast of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series. I'm Nate. Joining me, as always, is my sitting in a hat brother, Zach.
I'm not sitting in a hat.
You are. It's a very large hat.
I'm wearing a hat while I'm sitting. What up, I'm Zach? Hey, everybody. Hope you're well. Hope the world isn't scaring you too much like it is me. Just in general. I'm just a scared little baby bird sitting in a hat, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
If you've joined us before, you know we are full spoiler. We will ruin the series for you, and we're going to do that even if you have heard before and you've read it all before, because we've got some pretty wild takes on this shit. But if you haven't read anything before, go through, read it, and then come back and join us, because we are a reread podcast, as Nate said very quickly in his intro.
Go through it pretty
yeah,
quick,
we nailed that intro pretty quick when we go through it.
Well,
your favorite full spoiler reread podcast of George R.R. Martin. So
I did the intro. We don't need your take on it.
Yours startled me.
Good.
Your what up? It made me jump. We were sitting in pure silence before he started. Obviously, we're fucking professionals. So,
Yeah,
last
we're
episode,
also just weird, so we're just sitting here in silence for...
right, until we activate
Right.
fucking AI computer robots.
Last episode, we were reading Tyrion, which was the
Purple wedding, bitch.
third back and forth between the two. So it went Tyrion, then Sansa, then Tyrion again for the Purple Wedding. Now we are getting Sansa.
Tyrion's a fucking train wreck.
Right.
He's been a train wreck since him and Shay have returned to the city. But it's really egregious in these last 2 Tyrion chapters.
It's extra wreckful.
It's extra wreckful, sure. And yeah, last episode was the Purple Wedding, so we got to see all the fun, gory details through Tyrion's eyes of the whole feast, all the courses, the actual wedding ceremony, of course, which was actually quite lovely.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. The whole time Tyrion was the one bringing it down by his interior monologue of, wishing death upon his nephew. Not to say Joffrey doesn't deserve it, but his thoughts were certainly the only dark cloud on that otherwise beautiful day.
Not the only dark cloud on the beautiful day. There were probably, just because we didn't get the internal monologues, as we mentioned last episode, he was talking about how happy all these other couples were, and we were like, I don't know
certain
about
that Cersei's interior thoughts were nothing but sunshine and rainbows the whole day. So, you're wrong.
Let's get through this chapter so that we can get into feasts and find the fuck out.
Whoa! Pump the brakes there, Speed Racer. We got quite a lot to go here.
We don't have a lot to go.
We sure do.
We're right at the end.
Tyrion witnessed the poisoning and the death, although made to look like a choking on some dry pigeon pie, and some self-implication because he's an idiot and picks up the chalice of wine, which was a foolish move, regardless of what Nate may or may not think. CSI King's Landing is afoot. And so we pick up here with Sansa 5, A Storm of Swords. So, we get the bells. The bells are tolling. The bells hold much significance in this series. There's the Battle of the Bells with Robert Baratheon, way back when he was still a thing. The bells toll death. They signify something terrible has happened, or, war, so
Sure.
something terrible.
Yeah, right.
And it's never a good thing when you hear a whole city ringing the fucking bells. And so I love that the bells are, throughout this entire chapter, they are just constantly ringing, and at one point Sansa will even say it, they're tolling Joffrey into his grave. Sansa feels like she's in a dream, which, again, lots of fun. We've seen a lot of growth from Sansa in the last couple chapters. Tyrion may think that she's still a silly little girl who wishes that she was in Marjorie's place, as we said last episode. Completely wrong fucking take on it. Sansa, similar to something Littlefinger had told her a long time ago, you'll learn that life is not a song.
Right.
This is a dream. This is more of a realistic dream now. She's understanding that life isn't like the pretty dreams. Life is much more akin to the nightmarish dreams.
Yeah, and she's very much in disbelief that she's saying this to herself. Like, Joffrey's fucking dead.
Girl's in shock.
Dead.
She's
Dude's
in
dead.
shock,
Is he
and
dead?
she's dealing with that. She is 100% in shock of the event that she just witnessed.
So I do like that we get to... I feel like we're going to start seeing a darker side of Sansa once stuff that hasn't been published yet is darker than...
Dansa.
Dansa?
Dark Sansa.
Sure.
Dansa.
Okay, yeah.
Dansa.
I guess.
Dansa.
But she says that Joffrey wasn't dead when she left.
Correct. Last she saw him, he was
tearing
clawing
the
at that
flesh off his throat.
So she got to see a little bit of the Red Wedding.
Right. And I do like that Martin made it so visceral here as well, that it's a direct mirror
parallel to her mother.
Of what happened.
Yep.
And she gets to witness that, and it's reminiscent of when Sansa gets to watch the dogs eat Ramsay in the show.
Yeah. Just a horribly brutal visual.
Yeah, and so it makes me, Littlefinger's death was never my favorite part of the show.
Obviously.
And
they wrote it backward, and it made very little sense.
I feel like she will do it justice.
Do you think Sansa will ever see Stoneheart? Do you think she'll get to see her mother's version of it and do the, oh, she looks like Joffrey? Or is that just for Arya?
I don't know.
I do believe Arya and Stoneheart will run into each other. I don't believe Sansa will.
It's possible, especially with her being in the Eyrie.
Yeah.
And
It's
Stoneheart
100%
all fucking around
could work out that way,
but I don't know.
I think this is Sansa's only get of the Red Wedding. This is the only thing she's going to get to see of it is Joffrey's version.
Sure.
I think the rest is reserved for Arya, who, as we know, there's the theory
that
that Arya will be delivering mercy to Mother Merciful. And I think that it's just a fun comparison that, Sansa will never actually get to see what occurred to her mother, and so she gets to kind of see a representation of it here through Joffrey.
Right.
But it was horrible to watch. No fucking doubt. Hell yeah. So she had turned and fled sobbing. And we'll get to the sobbing in a minute, but Lady Tanda, who was also fleeing, because as we'll recall in Tyrion's chapter, once the shit hit the fan, a bunch of people were like, fuck this shit, I'm out,
yep,
and
scattered.
Started bolting for the door. And we learned Lady Tanda... Bolton? Huh? Lady Tanda was one of them, and she, as she was running and saw Sansa running and sobbing, was like, oh, you have such a good heart to cry for the man who set you aside. And Sansa fucking hysterically laughs at that.
Well, she keeps it in. She doesn't outwardly make the laugh. She chokes down the laugh.
Choke down the
but
hysterical
it's that
laugh.
She self-realizes, I'm crying. Is it sorrow or are they tears of joy? It's hysterics. It's
she's
both,
in shock, right?
You don't
You just witnessed something horrific to see,
but at the same time, it's something that you've been dreaming about
and
because this boy has tormented you
it's
and murdered your family.
He deserves it.
Yeah, and so it's like this release of pressure off her shoulders and also the trauma of seeing somebody rip their own throat out.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, Joffrey is still a boy of her own age. They are of an age.
And I think this moment is the closest it even comes to Tyrion with his, oh, she still wishes she was with him. It was that once upon a time. I saw myself as
he was my gallant prince.
Right, he was the one. And so to see him come down such a gross path.
Yeah. So I like sort of the vagary here where, I don't know if vagary is actually a word.
No, it's not.
I don't think so. That Martin doesn't really confirm it for us. We've got to use the context clues, but your girl ran straight to the Godswood in King's Landing and went there to retrieve the clothes that she had already hidden, which Martin kept hidden from us. We didn't get any allusion to this in her previous chapter that oh yeah, gotta be sneaky and put my clothes for the getaway.
Right.
But she did, and she's retrieving those, and as she's dressing, her hands feel numb, they feel clumsy, she almost wishes Shay was here to help her, and these are all signs of shock. She is absolutely just kind of stupefied, almost having an out-of-body.
Yeah.
And she says, Lady Tanda had said that the gods were cruel to take such a handsome young man at his wedding. And Sansa thinks the gods are just. Who? That's pretty severe. But then she continues that thought thinking Robb died at a wedding. And so, she is sobbing because of Rob,
Right.
because of the correlation to that.
And
She's
even
imagining
she mentions Marjorie. She's like, this poor girl has been widowed twice. She was going through this wedding day.
twice
and that
wed,
happened.
twice widowed.
Like,
I mean, Marjorie ain't crying.
but
She's fine.
Right. But yeah, she does. Sansa says, if I'm crying for Rob.
For Rob and for Marjorie.
Right.
And so, yeah, to me, I think she's kind of putting a little bit of like, is that what Rob had to do? Was Rob clawing at his own throat? Because she straight up did not ask for details of how he died. We learned that from Tyrion, that like, oh, you never asked me how and why they died, or like how they died. And like, right. So she has no image. So for her, when he started clawing, she probably was seeing Rob and was like, oh, this is how he went. He was fucking poisoned too. God damn.
Yeah, and she gives here one of the hardest lines of the chapter, I think. And it's something that Tyrion expressed in his last chapter as they were making their way to the wedding. She says, my skin is turned to porcelain, to ivory, to steel. It's exactly what he was saying was happening to her before, where she's shut down. She's hardened herself.
Well, it's an interesting, because it's her growth.
Right.
Like,
and
when she was coming to King's Landing, she was porcelain.
Exactly.
Then she went to ivory, where she had to and I like the allusion to the ivory tower. Like, she had to kind of seclude herself and shut down, isolate, and now she's motherfucking steel. Like, this girl is hardened by this shit.
Right. She's got a lot of tempering left to do.
She sure does, but she's laughing at Joffrey's death. She's fucking 100% like in the right of like, yeah, no, I'm crying for Rob and Marjorie. Fuck Joffrey.
Fuck Lannisters.
And fuck Cersei. And fuck Tyrion.
Fuck King's Landing.
Fuck them all.
She's leaving King's Landing a whole different person. Yeah. Absolutely.
And so she was told by Dontos to dress warm and to dress dark. And so she dons a green cloak, which, the big fan theory that this is the Hound's cloak, that she dyed green herself, because Sansa is very, well known at being a seamstress. And so there's it's the Hound's cloak of protection for her that she is now wearing with the hood. And she takes off the hairnet with the...
Dun, dun, dun.
And the repeat of... with the black amethyst from Ashai. It's just a black amethyst from Ashai. It's only a black amethyst from Ashai. And she finds one of them missing. And she is filled with a unexpected terror. And she doesn't know why. Yeah. And it's that because she is a little smarter than she gives herself credit for. The pieces are all there for her. She just isn't ready. And that, you said, she's still got some tempering to do. She's not putting it together yet that this was a plot long in the making. But she's got all the pieces. She's just not putting them together that, like, oh, my hairnet was the thing that killed him.
Right. She starts thinking about how, no, Dontos said that the stones were magic. But, like, no, it's just there's no way. And to herself, she's trying to convince, these had nothing to do with him dying.
Right.
I had no part in this story. And that's when she gets freaked the fuck out by Dontos showing
Well,
up.
on that, because she tells herself, it just fell out, and now it lies on the throne room floor, which, you're right, girl, it does, because Tyrion poured it out. He poured out the fucking rest of the wine that was in the chalice that would have fucking sat in the chalice and would have proved that he was poisoned and what the poison was, but Tyrion poured it out, and now it absolutely is on the throne room floor instead of in the wine where it was, which I love the little different callbacks that we're getting. But yeah, here comes stumbling drunk Dontos, her Florian, she thinks. And she immediately kind of confronts him about the hairnet, asking about the gems. And he says, there's magic in them. And she says, there's murder in them. And he's like, hush, 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 hush. No, he choked on a pigeon pie, my love. Like, that's it.
Talking about Willis?
That's it. You're going to get us killed.
I've done nothing here.
Right.
I've done nothing. I didn't do nothing wrong.
He laughs, saying that Joffrey choked on his pigeon pie, which is a great callback to, like, yeah, Dontos wants that little fuck killed too, because Joffrey completely almost killed him, was only saved by Sansa.
And it turned him into a drunken,
and turned him into a fool. He's not, and we'll get into it here in a second, but he's not allowed to dress as a knight anymore. He's not allowed to pretend like he's a knight because he's such a soddering fool. And that, I mean, he's a fucking idiot, but yeah, he's absolutely got a stake in making sure that Joffrey's fucking dead here. And so
his life was in the balance daily. If Joffrey just got annoyed with him, it's
Right.
all right. We're done with
right,
you.
100%.
So
She tells him, "You killed Joffrey," and he's like, "No, that's your Lord husband was arrested for that." LOL. And she's like, "Tyrion, right? I forgot about him."
and then she goes, "Oh shit! If he was arrested, I'm his wife. They're coming for me."
Right.
Right. No.
We're like, and she thinks of the wedding vows. Basically, if he did it, they're gonna assume I helped him because
Right.
that's the way it works. She recalls Joffrey's lovely little quote of, "He could never stand the wailing of women," and she thinks, but Cersei's the only woman wailing now.
Right.
And oof. Take that threadbare fucking cloak of yours and dab those eyes, Cersei, you little trashy bitch.
And it's that because Joffrey barely gave a fuck about Cersei.
Oh, 100%.
And so,
And I also thought that this was a wonderful little callback to grief and joy, laughter and tears, as Tyrion thought with Shay and Sansa. And absolutely, it's funny how that flips, and now it's Sansa and Cersei.
right.
Sansa's the joy and laughter, and Cersei's the grief and the tears. And just what a
Flip that script.
I'll just eat it all, eat it up.
So Dontos starts leading her away.
She panics and wonders, though, did I
Is
wish him
everything
dead?
alive?
Did
Right.
I wish for this and it came true? Like,
The magic
is there
is a magic stone.
Right. Like, did I make this happen?
And actually, the stones vanish when you cast the wish, so there was no stone to find on the floor, even if you dumped it out.
But she does know that Tyrion actually hated his nephew, and she's like, but would he actually kill the little shit? I don't know. But they leave the Godswood, they begin to sneak out, and Dontos is so fucking hammered that she actually has to help him walk, which is just insane because of all the we gotta be secret that he's doing.
Right, that he gets that.
You can't
fucked
even
up
be
and puts it
fucking
at risk.
sober for
Yep.
this, you dumb fuck. And so that's when she notices that he is dressed in his surcoat with the arms of House Hollard on it. And
Underneath his brown cloak.
right, of
is,
course, yeah.
you know,
And she questions him about it. She's like, Joffrey forbade it. Not that anything Joffrey decreed has any merit now. And he says, I wanted to be a knight for this at least. And
Yeah, but you're still a drunken knight. You're still
right,
fucking
yeah,
trash.
right. You're no
not
true
acting
knight.
knightly.
You're no
Right.
true knight. Yeah. And so they scurry along through a long gallery full of empty suits of armor, and as the light from Dontos' taper kind of plays over them, Sansa thinks the Hollow Knights are turning into dragons. And I like this quote a lot.
Because they just announced Hollow Knight 2 is coming
Because
out.
they announced Silksong is coming out in this year, and praise be. No, because while it could be seen as an allusion to Dontos of the Hollow Knights actually, becoming a dragon and fucking doing something, fuck Dontos, it's not. It's about the Briennes of the world. It's
Sure.
about these actual it's bringing meaning back to knightlyhood. And there are certain knights in the kingdom that are going to do that. Sir Barristan right now is trying
So
with
what
Dany.
this made me think of is if we align this with the quote about Dragonstone, that the stone dragons will be
turning
returning to
him from
life.
stone.
And so if we think that, then maybe it's less about literal dragons, and it's like you said, true knighthood,
Bravery,
true knights
yeah.
coming to stand up for and so to me it was as well as Dany, Sansa's somebody that's going to have that support and backing. She's going to get those true knights following her. Dontos ain't it, but
She just compared herself to steel.
she's coming through here. The way that the scales, grow and these knights are evolving. I think she's gonna get her own quote unquote dragon.
I think it's
dragon
referencing
knights.
herself as well. She is more of a knight in this chapter than Dontos
absolutely,
is.
yes.
She acts more brave,
And so,
more.
yes, they're almost morphing to reflect her as she's coming.
And I think
through.
it's Arya as well. It's all the children now, like Jon Snow's, the Dannys.
well, and that we're gonna get a lot of that because just past this sick little spot, they arrive.
Right, they exit the
they're going-
castle. They're outside
yeah,
now.
and outside the walls, and he tells her, "You've got to climb down the face of this cliff."
We're going down.
Takes some talking her into.
Right.
He has to show her where the
Yeah, it's a
handholds
long
are.
fucking
Don't
fall.
blame her, and she makes him go first, which again,
Brilliant.
smart.
Brilliant.
And
He's
then
drunk.
We get into her descent. It's very similar to Jon Snow,
Yeah.
who just a few chapters ago
Climbed the
climbed
wall. Yeah.
and she's sitting here doing it frozen with fear.
I was thinking, because she does the one more step, because she's terrified. I kept thinking of Danny. If I look back at I am lost. That kind of those monikers that everyone gets. Arya, fear cuts deeper than swords. It's right. They are doing ridiculously brave things as children, as people that should not be needing to. But also, fun callback. This is where Littlefinger brought Ned to leave the castle to meet up with Catelyn back in the first book.
And so we could get that hint right here that
I think this is very much so foreshadowing that Littlefinger is not as fucking clever. If you watch him, he follows the same fucking patterns. Like, this is his little spot. This is apparently the only little secret fucking passageway that he knows about. And so...
Or at least the only one he knows about that Varys doesn't.
That's what I mean, is like, the one he thinks isn't monitored. Like, and again, we'll get into that with the Godswood, as he claims that it's safe. But I do like the parallel here that Sansa is following in Ned's footsteps, but is going to have a much different end. She isn't going to die because Littlefinger betrays her. Right. She's going to fucking get him.
So I also did want to point out that she goes from one creeper to the next, because he gives her this, before he starts climbing down, he gives her, Martin puts it in, as a very wet kiss.
Yeah, yep.
And it's like, can we just... get her away from the gross fucking...
Yeah, like, stop kissing up on these girls.
Leave them
Same
alone.
with Jorah. Like, stop fucking kissing these women. Like, sorry, these girls, because, like, they're teenagers. Right. Like, they are not women yet. Like, they are having to act like it because of this society. But, like, stop fucking kissing them. Like, ugh. Yeah, I got creeped out by the Dontos kiss. I also just like that she gives it a 10-bell ring before she descends after him. She lets the bell rings 10 times before following Dontos. And, like, that self-control of just, like, nope, I'm going to count to 10, wait for 10 of these motherfuckers. When absolutely the instinct is to zip down that fucking wall. They are looking for her. Absolutely, 100%. Tyrion noticed she's gone. As soon as Cersei arrested her, she calls for his little wife, too, and your little dog, too. So, like, yeah, the instinct is to fucking, I'ma just swan dive off of this cliff and get to the ocean. But she fucking makes herself calm down, has the wherewithal to be like, he's drunk. If he falls, he's gonna take me out.
As she's climbing, has the presence of mind that she tells... every single step she took, she ensured that she had her footing before she moved.
She secured it. Her arms go numb eventually, but she makes it. The ground takes her by surprise.
Like that she mentioned the Bran's the climber, not me. Especially
and
since
he fell.
She just saw the vengeance for Bran's,
and he fell. And murder. The thing she didn't know is that's because Jaime and Cersei, like, so... You know, if he was free to climb on his own, of his own volition, like you are, he's fine and you're fine. And so, yeah, I love the little call out to Bran. But she makes it to the ground. The ground surprises her that she actually made it. Like, oh, shit, that wasn't so bad. And they go over to the river where there's a man in a skiff awaiting them. And, of course, Donto's like, Oswell? And the man's like, shut the fuck up.
Shut up. Especially because he was just up there in the Hush, quiet. And then he doesn't stop.
Right, yeah. He keeps fucking talking.
We know it's Oswell Kettle Black.
Kettle Black, yep. Father to the two idiots that Cersei's going to be playing.
They climb into the boat.
Right.
And he starts taking them out to Blackwater Bay.
Yes.
And I love the image of this. First of all, he yells again.
I love this part. This part in the skiff is fucking beautiful.
Creepy.
It's so creepy.
They're going through this boat graveyard from the Battle of Blackwater. Just...
And it's all misty. It's the middle of the night.
The mist is arising.
It's dark.
And Dontos is talking, and he's like, "Dude, your voice fucking carries on the water. It carries over water. You need to stop."
Yeah.
And then the silence occurs, and they just go. And it's so haunting as she's making, and like that, I picture that there's mass jutting up out of the water in certain spots.
I mean, it's like this is where thousands of men died. Like, they burned alive in one of the worst fucking ways too. Yeah, there are bodies beneath you. Like, you probably bumped one or two out of the way because they all haven't been fished out yet. Like, absolutely. And then dawn is just rising in the east, but it's still dark because it's misty as fuck.
That's one of my favorite times of the day.
When she spots a galley, a ghost ship, she calls it, emerging out of the mist, and they're just kind of coasting along on some oars, like barely making any noise. And of course, this is Littlefinger's ship waiting. Sansa and Oswell climb up a rope ladder that's lowered, but Dontos remains down in the skiff. And Littlefinger and Lothar Brune are awaiting her up on the ship. Immediately, Littlefinger cloaks her. He's like, oh, she's cold, and I just want to get my arm around her.
And I like how Martin writes this little segment, because it's, again, in Sansa's mind, she's... Wait, I know that voice, but no, he's in the Vale.
He's in the Vale.
What?
Yep.
What's happening?
Yep.
Hold up.
And that she immediately recognizes Lothar Brune. And, like, for a minute, it's that, like, wait, is she saying Lothar Brune should be in the Vale? But nope, here comes fucking Creeper Baelish, who's like, licking his lip.
Your mother.
And then Dontos is like, my lord, my payment, 10,000 dragons. And Littlefinger's like, oh, 10,000 dragons, was it? Yeah, 10,000 dragons. Lothar, pay the man. And so I like that Martin notes, Lothar dips his torch. So the light goes out, like, gets dark as fuck. Horrifying. And then 3 men step up and shoot the shit out of Dontos. Bop, 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 like 1 in the throat, 2 in the chest, or 1 in the chest, 1 in the belly. Yeah. Down he goes, and then Lothar immediately tosses the torch down onto the skiff, sets it alight.
1 more boat in the graveyard.
And they start going. And Sansa and Dontos both, it happens so quick, they don't have time to cry out. And Sansa is immediately upset. You know, this is the second death she's witnessed in like 25 minutes.
She turns to Littlefinger's like, dude, you just fucking killed. That was, he saved me. And he's like, chill.
Well, he reveals the whole plot of like, he sold you once, and when he drank up this 10,000K, he was going to sell you again once Varys started jingling his little purse and was like, ooh, any information on Sansa, I'll pay you. And he's a drunk. And absolutely, Littlefinger has a point. Yes, like, he would have gone, and if he didn't drink himself to death on that 10,000, he would have wanted more. And so, 100%, 10,000 buys his silence for a little bit, 3 bolts to the fucking neck, stomach, and chest, buys it forever. And so then he tells her, you know, plus, everything he's done, he did at my behest. And he reveals that the note, if you want to go home, come to the Godswood, and the hairnet, and all of it. And Sansa asks, is it all just lies forever and ever and ever and ever and ever? And he's like, with everyone else, but not with you and me, sweetling. Like, no.
Right. And he guides her, you know, down to her private room where she'll be taken care of, and he's not going to sit there and stare at her as she sleeps. And he goes in to tell her about him and her mother, and how
he gives the creepy ass line too, real quick, while they're still up there, about widowhood will become you. So like, the plan for him is to frame Tyrion. He wants it to look like Tyrion killed Joffrey, which is why he, you know, bought the dwarf jousters and kept that a secret, and, you know, told Joffrey, like, haha, we should do this, it'll piss Tyrion off, was to create more of that animosity between them. And so that he wants Sansa legally, legitimately widowed.
Right.
If so they kill Tyrion, so that he can step in.
Right. And be Warden of the North. He
so
wants to
skin crawly gross, but yes, then he escorts her down where there's a cabin waiting for her. It's not a huge cabin, he admits, but like there's clothes for her and all this.
Yeah, and he goes on to tell her that he took Catelyn Stark's virginity.
She gave me something that you can only give once.
Now, we know for a fact that again, fact being, it was in her head, her POV.
Lysa. It was Lysa.
She did not
He was drunk.
It was Lysa. And Cat would never.
No.
Cat would has openly stated many times, he was at most a little brother.
A kid
It
brother
would have been the
me.
weirdest.
Yeah.
And so his little drunken ass, who got, we know, Lysa pregnant, and Hoster did not like that shit whatsoever.
Right.
And so
Tansa.
she was required to, you know, have the...
Tansy.
Yeah.
Tansa,
get the...
Lady Tanda.
The fucking tea.
Tansy.
Moon
tea. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
For.
Abortion tea.
Yeah, abortion tea.
Yes. And that fucked Lysa up. Like, and 100%, I wouldn't put it past Lysa to have been like, yes, it's me, Cat. Like, just to get what she wanted. And, like, sure, not saying there was anything wrong with Lysa then, like, mentally. It was probably just, like, a manipulation of, like, you know,
I want him.
I
and
want
so
him, and so I'm going to say what I need to get it. Littlefinger, we know, was drunk at this point, and, like, right, so he thinks there was something between, and tells Sansa, you know, in a different life, you would have been mine and not Eddard Stark's. And then he straight up just is like, you're my daughter now. Like, my daughter. What up, my daughter? I'll keep you safe, my daughter. Right.
And then provides his reasoning for killing Joffrey.
Yeah.
And his reason for killing Joffrey is because he had no reason to kill Joffrey.
Always keep your foes confused.
And so if you're confused, then they're confused.
He
and
gives
so
his Game of Thrones speech, right.
If I don't know what I'm going to do next, then they don't know what I'm going to do next.
No one can know. I'm just wiping the board because, like, fuck everything and no one and everyone.
According to him, his whole reasoning, which isn't true.
No,
we know that it's all
his
about
motivation
his
is
power
getting
and
Winterfell
getting
and
the power
her.
of Winterfell,
Yeah,
the Vale.
yeah.
You know, he's consolidating, trying to get
he
the
wants
Seven
to be
Kingdoms
king.
for himself.
Yes.
But he tells her, listen, he was just a bad dude, and I was bored,
Right.
and, like, I don't want them to know what I'm thinking. So if I do something that makes no sense for me to do, then they'll never know it was me.
Yeah.
Or something.
And remember that when you come to play the game. And she's like, what game, dude? The Game of Thrones. Like, and she's like, you're 2 books late. That's the title of the first one.
We're cleaning up the storm.
We're in a storm.
Right.
And we're moving into a feast. And he's like, oh, but don't worry, because you're safe. And you're sailing home with me. And, like, LOL, not Winterfell home, though. We're going to the little shitty fingers. And, like, I'm going to show you the little shithole where I come from and all the goat shit. The literal shithole. Like,
Ew.
And so, yeah, ha ha ha, Winterfell's implied, but that ain't where we're going. My daughter. She's not your daughter, bro. Chill. Like, what the fuck? And so, yeah. I love it for Sansa. I love the trajectory she's on, but she even has the thought, you know, did I escape the Lannisters just to land in the clutches of someone worse? Kind of.
Time will tell.
Like, yeah, because the Lannisters wanted you for your name and your status and your symbol. He wants in your pants.
Right.
Like,
on top of the everything else.
On top of that, but, like, he actually
yes.
wants to sexually assault
Right.
you. And, like, will be making attempts to do so while playing up the charade that you're also his daughter.
And trying to get you to couple with somebody else to get that
but
power.
But there's absolutely an attraction to her because she resembles Cat so hard. And he's got such a hard-on for Catelyn for something that didn't actually occur that it just compiles into this gross, nasty mess.
So awful.
And
He's
yeah,
so
Littlefinger is so much worse than I recall him being in the books. It's great. He's a very fascinating character, but it is fucking vile.
That, like, now I picture, you know, the Tyrion staring at Dany and Jon on the boat when they're doing it. That's just Baelish as she's sleeping.
Right.
Like, it's just him, like, staring at her door.
She's getting up and she's got a roll of toilet paper in her hand, and he's just like, oh, I'd love to be that toilet paper. You vile, gross pig. And
Get rid of him. Get rid of him.
It's a great last, I don't know if it's the last Sansa chapter. I do believe it is Sansa's last chapter in A Storm of Swords. It's a great wrap up to the Purple Wedding, this, you know, escape into the night. There will be, you know, rumors about Sansa turning into a bat to escape.
Hell yeah.
Which is a lot of fun because it does tie into her distant relation to Lady Went of Harrenhal, who was said to, you know, do some bat magic.
Also coupled with, like, the skin changing of
right.
and the Starks in general, like. And
so it's a real fun. I love the whole when they're in the skiff on the Bay of Blackwater. Like, that is such a vibe. The little skiff ride to the ghost ship.
Yeah.
And her describing it as a ghost ship right before Dontos gets fucking slapped. There is one more Sansa?
At least one more
At least one more Sansa. Great. So that'll be them in the fingers, I believe.
But yeah, so next we're going into Jaime.
Sir Jaime, who's got to find out about his son and not give a shit.
Yep. And then from Jaime we get into, like, Davos, which will probably be the news arriving that Melisandre succeeded with the third king dying. Unless it's they're heading north, right? Because that's right. They got the letter for
the they're going north.
And then we're kind of bouncing around.
So y'all sound the bells. The
Davos,
king is dead.
And then we get some Jon. So then.
But join us next time for Jaime 7 to be exact. It's been a minute since we checked in with Jamie, so expect a little recap at the top of next episode.
Yeah, it's fun. I've been poking into that chapter already. It's
But
gonna be a good one.
for now, we're done with King's Landing until we check back in with Tyrion. But we're taking a little breather.
Jamie's literally.
Is he going straight to King's Landing?
Literally there.
Oh
yeah.
well, fuck that.
That's how it starts.
No.
Maybe. I don't know. They're on their way.
Oh,
they are. They're on the outskirts of the town.
Oh yeah.
They're just on the outskirts. Fuck you, Zach. I'm done with this. You want to call it?
No, you
All right,
do
follow
it.
to Harris.
Peace.